Hi, welcome back to Maria's Kitchen. Guess what? I'm in Lisa's kitchen and we're going to be cooking today together. And I just want to tell you a little bit about this show. The inspiration for this show today is my grandsons both told me, Grandma, you've got to show us how to make a simple cake from scratch. So this is what we're doing today. This is for Isaiah and Robert. And Lisa is going to show her recipe. She's going to do a chocolate cake, and I'm going to do a vanilla cake. I'm so glad we're cooking together.
It's been a long time.
Yes.
It's very exciting. So I always have fun and I always learn. So that's the nice thing about this.
Me too. And we love baking. And we also love, what Disney character do we absolutely love?
Oh, I love Ariel. And
we love Ariel
and Frozen. Anna is my favorite.
Let it go! Okay, the very first thing, I'm going to go over the ingredients with you. And so that you're going to need just regular all-purpose flour. You're going to need a cup of sugar, and you're going to need sour cream. You're going to need some baking powder and baking soda. You're going to need butter, and you need real unsalted butter, not margarine, real butter. I've got some kosher salt here, and then you'll need 3 egg whites. And then, of course, you gotta have good vanilla. You can't have imitation vanilla, and I've got some Mexican vanilla here. You'll need a little bit of whole milk. It needs to be whole milk, not reduced fat. We want all that fat in there. And then I got this Pastry Pride, and this is what we'll be frosting it with. And you just whip this, it's a whipped topping for cakes. So I'll be back to put it together. Okay, here it goes. You're going to need 1 2/3 cup of flour, all-purpose flour, and we're going to go ahead and run it through and sift it because we want all of the little clumps out of there, and we want, oh, there's something hard in there, see? Yeah. And then we're gonna do 1 cup of sugar. Put that right through there, run that through, drop this in there, and I've got all 3 together. We've got the baking soda, baking powder, and the 1/4 teaspoon of salt. And I'll put all of the measurements on the description below in the area so you know exactly. Oh, there's some really hard stuff. Look at that. So we're sifting all the dry ingredients first. And look how beautiful. It's so nice and very well done. So what we're going to do is we're going to just whisk this around for a little bit. We're going to whisk it all around. The flour, the sugar, baking powder, baking soda, and salt. We want it well incorporated. This is a good old-fashioned vanilla cake made from scratch. And now we're going to go into the wet ingredients. I'm going to put this aside, and we're going to come here, and we're going to put our 3 egg whites. And these needed to be at room temperature. So I'm putting those in, 3 egg whites. I'm gonna put vanilla. You need actually soup, not vanilla, melted butter. I've got 3/4 of a cup and it is melted. So I melted it down. And then we've got, I'm gonna mix that for a little bit. We've got sour cream, a 1/2 cup of sour cream. And you're gonna get that in. And I love sour cream. So delicious. I would lick this, but we're on camera. And then we're going to put our 1/2 cup of warm milk. You want this milk warm, and everything should be room temperature. And we're just going to mix this up for a little bit, just to try to get it together, because I know that butter is melted. And we're going to stir it around, and then all we're going to do is just put it in and mix it with the dry ingredients. I'm going to just toss that over there. I think we got this almost well mixed. And it's going right into the center there. And it's going all in. And I want all of it, so I'm going to have to actually get this, let me rinse this real quick. I want every bit of it, so I'm going to use the spatula to get all this yumminess. We want all that sour cream and that melted butter. And at this point, we're just going to mix it together. This is all we're going to do, is start mixing it together, and this is going to be our, believe it or not, I forgot the most important thing, I think, is vanilla. I'm putting a whole heaping tablespoon of vanilla, and here it is. And I'm gonna stir that in, and I'll be right back. It is all done. It's all incorporated, and it looks beautiful and smells wonderful. So I just want to show you something. I bought these Parchment paper sheets. They're pop-up Parchment paper sheets, and they're from Reynolds Kitchen. I want to show you, if you want to put a bottom to your pan, you're just going to fold this in half, and then you're going to fold it in half again. Like, you know, when you're making an airplane when you were younger, and then you're going to fold it one more time. So just 2 times, and get it this point as straight as you can, and there it is. You turn your pan over. My pan is dirty. I'm going to wipe it down. Okay. And what you do is you try to find the center of the pan, and then you're going to cut the edge here, and voila, you're going to open it up, and it's going to fit at the bottom. So, oh my goodness, I saw this on YouTube. My daughter showed me. So you're gonna have to spray the pan because you want it to stick at the bottom. Make sure you spray the sides of the pan, because we don't want it to stick. And then the bottom, you just sprayed it so the paper could fit right on the bottom. And there it is. And so you can also do it the way Lisa did it. You can just put some spray and put flour, and that's perfect. But if you want to do the parchment paper, you have 2 options. I love that we're doing more than one option, Lisa. We're learning so much. Here it goes. Here it goes. We're putting it in. We're about to cook these cakes. Vanilla and chocolate, 2 of my favorite yumminess. And I got to also give props. This recipe here, I'm gonna give props to the one that created this, and he is, I think he was a scientist before, a school teacher scientist, Preppy Kitchen. I don't know if you know who that is, but also we're gonna tap for the bubbles. It's kind of light, and we're ready to go in. Okay, Lisa, ready to put them in. We're so excited. Okay.
Here's Maria.
Okay.
And I will set the timer over here.
Okay, approximately about 20. We'll be back in 20 to 25 minutes. I'm back on, and I pulled this out of the oven, and I just want to show you the bottom. I flipped it over out of the pan, and I'm going to show you. Remember that parchment paper that I cut? You just pull it right off, and then you can set it right on a pedestal and let it cool off, or you can put this in the refrigerator actually, and then put it back on here and start frosting. And I'm gonna just show you a really quick, simple frosting. Now, I've been using this for years. It's Pastry Pride. You can get this at Smart and Final. It's a whipped topping, and what I like about it is that in hot weather, it pretty much stays and it doesn't melt. So what I do is just start on the edge here. I'm gonna try to do it because normally I usually put it on the pedestal. So what you're going to do is just start going around the sides. And you know what? I'll be back to show you the rest. Just really quickly, I did it with a pastry bag, and I'm going to give you the tip, size, and tell you all about that in the description area. But I just want to show you a simple little decoration. Now, I got this at Michael's, and it's a pick, and there's water in here. And so I just want to let you know that you can stick this right in the center of the cake, and it's going to keep the flour hydrated. And so what I'm going to do, I washed all of these flowers. And what I'm going to do is going to just put a couple on the side here. And then you're just gonna lay some leaves on top. And then I washed the leaves too. And it kind of looks like a garden cake. And then I also got a little bit of baby's breath. Maybe I could fit that in there somewhere. And then I'll put one around on this side and just punch it in, and everything was washed, and there you go. Voila, it's done. So we will be back with Lisa's cake, and she's going to decorate hers. Lisa is getting ready to put this chocolate cake from scratch together with ingredients you'll have just in your home. So Lisa, go right ahead. And what are you using here?
Oh, I'm using my 7-quart mixer, and it just goes like this, and then it pops. This pops in the little mixer bowl. So I love it. I also got it refurbished, so it was cheaper. So that's a way to get a mixer for cheaper if you buy a refurbished one. And I think they do sell them on the site as well. So you can just have to look into that. But anyway, so the cake that I'm going to make is a chocolate cake. This is a cake I always make for everybody when they want me to bake a cake for them. And so I will put a recipe of a cake with similar ingredients, okay? So what we're going to start with, this is how I put it in the order I always put it in. So you could always try this with another recipe or your favorite recipe and see how it turns out. And you can do versus what you do normally just to see if there's any difference. So I'm going to put the sugar in. I have sugar. Then it's flour. This one I have cocoa. Oops. And then I have salt. And I have baking powder and baking soda. And then just as a tip, I always, when I do the dry ingredients, I whisk. And I just found when I was making this last night, I just let this set and I let it whisk so that it whisks everything together. So basically it sifts itself. You can lift it up.
Yeah, perfect. For about how long?
Just till it's all incorporated.
Okay.
So then you can just see how it incorporates everything. Just last night when I did it, I had 4 batches in this, so I did it a little bit differently.
Wow.
So let me just do it one more time.
So about 3 times?
Just so it's incorporated. I just wanted to make sure I got everything from underneath, because you know how sometimes it hides underneath?
Yes.
And that's,
yes.
So yeah, so then it's all incorporated.
Okay, got it.
Now I'm gonna put in the wet ingredients. So I have it up. And I'm going to, so normally I will add all my stuff together. So I have my milk. Yeah.
Okay. You have a milk and
my
an egg.
Okay. The vanilla.
What kind of vanilla?
Oh, it's a Costco vanilla that I have.
And it's not
It's
imitation.
real vanilla.
Yes.
I think it makes a big difference.
Yes,
I always
it
have
does.
something real, but it's milk. And so then I'm just going to put that in there. Kind of loud, sorry guys. And then I have the water, so I have to use that. While that's mixing, I'll put this up. And then the water, with it being warm, it helps it meld and mix everything together. I think that's the reason why it's warmed up. So now I'm going to add the water. Now you can, this is just a single batch that I'm doing. So whenever you want to double, you just want to do this slow when you add the water, and you add a little bit of water at a time until it mixes. It's easy, this is easy because it's low to the, it's not as much liquid, so that way it's not going to make a big mess.
Yeah.
But when you double it, it can get messy, so be careful. Okay, so then also what I do is scrape the bottom of this, because of the flour and the dry ingredients being on the bottom. I'm gonna do it one more time. do this.
Smells good. I can smell.
You can always add some espresso, you know, like put the espresso into the water if you wanted to.
Oh, that's a good idea.
And do that too.
Espresso.
Do you remember how I made that coffee cake?
Yes.
That one time? That's what I did.
Oh, yummy. Okay.
So then I'm just gonna scrape this all off, and this is my scraper from Pampered Chef. I love it.
Ooh.
It's a medium scraper.
Okay, and we'll be right back to get it in the pan.
Before I do the pan, I'm gonna preheat the oven at 350. So it's preheating at the moment. So this is what I do. I have the canola oil cooking spray that I use to prepare my pan before I put the batter in. So I just spray all the way around. Now, I could also use cocoa powder. However, I have a low amount right now, so I don't want to use that. So I'm just going to use the flour. So usually you can do cocoa powder when you do chocolate, because that way you don't have the white showing afterwards.
Oh, okay, good. Oh, that's good.
And then it keeps the flavor, you know. It doesn't have a little bit of flavor.
Seems like it would intensify the flavor, like more cocoa. Mm.
Possibly. It's just like a little hair, you know, just a little bit. 'Cause, what you do is tap this out.
Okay. Oh, awesome.
You just lightly dusted is how it turns out. So then again with this, I'm gonna still use my scraper to make sure it did get everything incorporated.
Ooh, it's going in. It's going in. And this is an 8-inch or a 9-inch?
This is an 8-inch pan.
8-inch, okay.
So this one you could fit a double batch into
Okay.
without it spilling over
Okay.
when it bakes. And then you could, to make a double batch in this pan, what you can do is, when it's done, it cooks over almost up to the top, and then you'll be able to cut it in half when it's cooled, and then you can fill it if you want to. But you don't want to do that with, unless you want a thin layers, then you can cut this in half as well. But there it is. And then what you want to do also is there's air bubbles, so it's loud, but
That's fine.
But
you have to note. Yes, so the air bubbles come.
Yep, just tap it and then you stick it in.
Okay, Lisa, ready to put them in.
And here's the chocolate cake.
Okay.
And I will set the timer over here.
Okay, approximately about 20. We'll be back in 20 to 25 minutes. We are back on, and Lisa is about to frost her cake, and she's going to explain everything to you.
It's actually a double batch cake. So the one that we did earlier was just a single batch. So this is what it looks like. So this is the pan. So anyway, so that you see that. And I just took a knife around and loosened it, and then I put a piece of cardboard, I'll show you, on top, and then took it out, and then that way you get the nice bottom and it's more flat of the area. I made buttercream, and it's just vanilla buttercream. You can always add chocolate if you take out a little bit less powdered sugar, but you can also find a recipe for chocolate buttercream. I just did the vanilla buttercream. We have it here, and it was just cream, vanilla, powdered sugar, 4 cups of powdered sugar, a teaspoon of vanilla, 3 tablespoons of the cream. You can use milk if you want, or whichever you like, and then 4 cups of the powdered sugar. Okay. So then you just, what I do is I put that all in, and then I mix it, and I actually let it mix for 5 minutes, so that way it gets really smooth. So then the 2 tools that I use when I do cakes are so this is what you do to crumb coat, and it could be even a little bit less, but I just wanted to get this one on there. And what I'm gonna have to do is put this in the refrigerator for about 10-15 minutes, just so it can harden up, so that I can slather more of this non-crumbed buttercream onto it, so we can hide all the imperfections of the crumbs, okay?
Okay, we'll be back. Lisa's back on to finish decorating her cake.
Okay, so I took it out, and it's pretty much firm.
Ooh,
So
that's good.
if
I
it's
love
too
that.
soft, you would just actually put it back in for like a few more minutes. I'm gonna add a bunch on here. And then I'm gonna frost this.
Mm-hmm. Ooh, I love buttercream. Mmm. So pretty and white.
And then if you want to make it a little bit whiter, there's a tip. You can take a toothpick and put it in some purple food coloring gel, and then put it in the ice into the icing when you're mixing it, and then mix it, and it'll be a little bit brighter white.
Wow,
yeah.
Lisa, that's awesome.
And then just to smooth it on the edges.
Ooh, I love that. And what helps is that turning table, Lisa.
Yes, I love this turning table. You have to make sure it really glides really well. So this is after what you just saw me do, and what you can do to make it even smoother, to look like fondant, would be stick this back in the refrigerator for a little longer, and then you can get hot water and use this or the spatula, and you can just go around, and you just keep going until it's all the way smooth. So little info, if you want a little like tidbit of me, if you want to know, this recipe had got first place at, and I think it was 2010, at the Tulare Fair, the fair out there in Tulare. So I got a ribbon for this one and for my vanilla.
Awesome.
Yeah, and then I also got like the main one for my chorizo. It's like a jalapeno popper cupcakes that I had made before.
Oh, yeah.
That got the grand prize. So
Wow,
that was pretty fun. So anyway,
that's
I just
great.
thought to let you guys know. So that's why when I do ask people, oh, well, how does it taste? Does it taste good? I always want to make sure it still tastes fabulous. So hopefully it does taste fabulous. So, but this is what it looks like. And then you can either have it just plain like this and add the flowers like Maria did, or you can add other things. So this is it.
We'll be right back with the scripture of the day. So it's the finale of the show, and I'm so thankful that Lisa had me over today, and we love baking. And I have chosen a very good scripture for you today. It's 1 John 3. Consider this kind of extravagant love the Father has lavished on us. He calls us children of God. It's true. We are his beloved children, and in the same way the world didn't recognize him, the world doesn't recognize us either. When we feel like we are not good enough to be loved by God, we should remember that God's love is greater than our doubts. We must silence the sounds of condemnation so we can hear the voice of God's loving assurance. I want to thank God for his love, and I pray that Lisa and me are lavished with his extravagant love. And you know what? Stay tuned. We're going to eat cake and come back.
Hi guys, we're back. Look at this. Chocolate and vanilla.
We're going in.
So I'm going to try her. She's trying mine.
Lisa, it's so moist. Oh my goodness. Let me see.
Yours is good too.
Can you try the
It's,
vanilla? It's very
I
light.
feel like it, yeah, it's a light,
Very light. Yeah.
moist, and then the your whipped cream is it's really light, so it's like
Oh my God.
this would be cute. You know how you have it with the flowers? You can make little mini cupcakes, and then do for like a tea party. Or
I know. Thank you. That's a good idea. Okay, we are gonna sign off. We've got to finish eating, and I need coffee. So we'll see you next time. Bye.